The evacuation sirens had died 3 hours ago. Now there was only wind, and the crunch of snow beneath broken boots. Rhea Voss stumbled forward, her vision blurring at the edges. The wound in her side had stopped bleeding not because it was healing, but because there wasn't much left to bleed. Her thermal suit, torn open by shrapnel from the orbital strike, flapped uselessly in the sub-zero gale. Ice crystals formed in her eyelashes with each labored breath. Behind her, 4 small shapes huddled together, their chitinous plates clicking softly in distress. The Cravathi cubs, no more than younglings, their carapaces still soft and mottled with juvenile patterns, pressed against each other for warmth. The eldest, Drak, kept his sensory stalks trained on the human woman who had pulled them from the burning colony settlement. "Rhea, human," Drak chittered, his translator struggling with the harsh winds. "Stop rest, you fall soon." She didn't respond, couldn't waste the breath. The emergency beacon was still 17 kilometers away, beyond the ridge that seemed to grow more distant with each step. 17 kilometers through a blizzard on a world that was never meant to sustain human life. 17 kilometers with a punctured lung and organs shutting down one by one. But the cubs were alive. That had to be enough. The Cravathi were a predator species apex hunters on their homeworld, with reflexes that could tear through combat armor and mandibles designed to crush bone. The Galactic Council had warned humanity against allowing them into mixed colonies. "They see mammals as prey," the counselors had said. "It's biological imperative, not malice." Rhea had proven them wrong for 6 months, working as a xenobiological liaison at the frontier settlement. She'd taught Cravathi younglings to read human datapads, helped their parents understand human customs, watched them integrate into a community that the galaxy said was impossible. Then the raiders came. Pirates, or separatists, or maybe just mercenaries, it didn't matter. What mattered was the plasma fire raining from the sky, the colony shields failing, the screaming. And in the chaos, she'd found the cubs huddled in a collapsed nursery, their parents nowhere to be found. Dead, probably. Most of the settlement was, she'd made a choice then. The same choice any human would make, really. The same stubborn, irrational, beautiful choice that made the galaxy think humans were insane. She'd chosen to save them. Rhea's leg buckled. She caught herself on a frost-covered boulder, leaving a red handprint that froze almost instantly. Her HUD had gone dark an hour ago, but she didn't need it to know her body was failing. The cold had long since crept past her extremities. She couldn't feel her fingers anymore, couldn't feel her toes. The wound in her side felt distant, like it belonged to someone else. "Rhea, human?" Drak chittered again, more urgently this time. He scuttled forward on his 6 legs, his juvenile mandibles clicking in what she'd learned was distress. "Please, we stay here, we dig shelter." "You rest." She shook her head, spraying ice crystals from her matted hair. "Not safe," she rasped. Her voice sounded wrong, hollow. "Need beacon, rescue." "You died before beacon," Drak said. The translator made his voice sound flat, but she could hear the emotion beneath it. Fear. A predator species. Afraid. "Maybe," Rhea admitted. She pushed off from the boulder, nearly collapsed, caught herself. "But you..." "Won't." The other 3 cubs, Shyla, Morphex, and little Teak huddled closer to Drak. They were children, barely past their first molt. Shyla still played with the data crystal Rhea had given her, even now. Morphex had drawn pictures of the human woman in his learning tablet, crude approximations of someone with only 2 legs and no proper mandibles. They trusted her. The galaxy said they shouldn't, said their instincts would override logic, but they trusted her anyway, because that's what humans did. They made the impossible possible through sheer bloody-minded stubbornness. Rhea took another step, then another. The ridge seemed to mock her, always just out of reach. Her lungs burned with each breath, and she could taste copper in the back of her throat. Internal bleeding, probably. Her medical training told her she had maybe an hour left. Maybe less. She fell. The snow rose up to meet her, or maybe she fell down to meet it. The distinction didn't seem important anymore. Her vision tunneled, darkness creeping in from the edges. She heard the cubs chittering in alarm, felt their small clawed feet scrambling over to her. "Up?" Drak's voice was panicked now. "Get up, Rhea human, please get up," she tried. Her arms wouldn't respond. Her legs felt like they belonged to someone else, someone very far away. The cold was everywhere now, inside her, filling her up like water in a sinking ship. Can't, she whispered. Sorry, nitrogen monoxide. Drak's mandibles clacked together in the Crevathy expression of absolute denial. He pressed his carapace against her face, trying to use his body heat to warm her. It was futile, Crevathy ran cold-blooded, but the gesture made her heart ache. Listen, Rhea forced the words out through frozen lips. Beacon ... 3 more kilometers. Over ridge. You go. Fast. You single quotes re ... faster than me. Get help. Leave you? Drak's translator crackled. Never humans don't leave. You teach us this. You never leave. She tried to smile. Wasn't sure if her face muscles still worked. I'm not ... leaving, just ... resting. It was a lie. They both knew it. With the last of her strength, Rhea pushed herself up onto her hands and knees. Every molecule of her body screamed in protest. Her vision went white with pain, then red, then dark, but she moved. One hand forward, one knee. Then the other hand. The other knee, crawling. The cubs clustered around her, pressing close, their chittering urgent and afraid. She could feel their small bodies against her sides, could hear Drak calling her name over and over. She crawled. The snow turned red beneath her. Her hands left trails like paint on a canvas. The wind howled, or maybe that was the sound of her own breathing, harsh and wet and wrong. She crawled. For the cubs. For the promise she'd made when she pulled them from the flames. For the future where humans and Crevathy could live together, could trust each other, could be more than their base instincts. She crawled. The ridge. Was it closer? She couldn't tell anymore. Couldn't see properly. Everything was white and red and dark. Rhea, human, please. Drak was begging now, his young voice breaking through the translator's flat tone. Please don't close eyes. Stay awake. Stay awake. She wanted to, tried to. But her body had other ideas. Rhea Voss collapsed one final time, face down in the snow. Her hand reached out, pointing toward the ridge where salvation waited. 3 kilometers that might as well have been 3,000. Go, she breathed, so quiet even she barely heard it. Darkness took her. She never felt the rescue team arrive 20 minutes later, drawn by the emergency beacon that Drak activated after sprinting the last kilometers with a speed born of desperation. She never felt them load her frozen body onto the medical transport, never heard the medics arguing over whether it was too late. She never felt the warmth returning to her limbs as they worked to restart her heart, to repair the damage, to pull her back from the edge that she teetered on for hours. But she had crawled through blood and snow with 4 cubs pressed against her sides, and she had shown the galaxy what humanity was made of, not flesh and bone, but something harder, something that couldn't be frozen or bled or broken by mere physics. She had chosen compassion over survival, hope over logic, and in doing so, had made the impossible real. When Rhea Voss finally opened her eyes again 3 days later in a medical bay, surrounded by relieved doctors and 4 chittering cubs who refused to leave her side, the galaxy learned what every human already knew, that sometimes, the most human thing you can do is refuse to give up, even when giving up is the only logical choice. And that's why the galaxy would never quite understand humanity. But they would learn to respect them. One crawl at a time.